So last class we have completed try and catch. Okay, tell me, what did you learn with try and catch? Handling exception or catching exception? With try and catch, what did you learn? Catching exception or handling exception? Handling an exception by catching you learn. There are two ways of handling: by catching and by reporting. So you learn catching and handling an exception by catch. Tell me, by catching exception, what can I do? By catching an exception, what can I do? Or what can you do? Number one, we can stop abnormal termination and we can continue executing current method next lines of the code placed after try catch. Number two, we can display end user understandable error messages. Number three, we can execute alternative logic. By catching exception, we can do three things. Number one, primary, stopping abnormal termination. Number two, displaying end user understandable error messages. Number three, executing alternative logic. So these are the three things we can do by catching an exception. Clear? So last class we have learned two things. Number one, stopping abnormal termination. Number two, displaying error message. It has internal mappings. Internally, it will maintain one table. This error, this exception. Second error, this exception. It has internally the mappings. How do you know this classroom is Core Java classroom? Your admin told classroom, third floor, classroom 1 is Core Java, right? So like how we mapped which classroom belongs to which session. Similar in the JVM software also, we will have a table. In the table, we will have divide by division operation problem, arithmetic exception. Okay, array index problem, array index out of bounds exception, number conversion problem, number format exception. They have designed the table. Clear? So today we are going to learn the next story. Okay, before going to next topic, I want you to answer one question. How can we solve exception? Solve exception. By tracing try catch. By using try catch, can you solve exception? How can we solve exception? Can we solve an exception by catching? Someone is suffering from the fever. I caught him. Then fever solved. I taken him to hospital. Fever solved. What do you need? You need to add medicine to it. Without adding medicine, don't worry, we are in hospital. You're in a hospital, give me one injection or give me some tablets. No, we are in hospital. We catch you, don't worry. By catching, we will inform the error. This is the problem. By reading that error message, end user should send the correct value. We are catching exception, not to solve exception. Is the biggest confusion there in the people mind. Okay, except by using exception handling, we can solve exception. How? By using exception handling, we cannot solve exception. By using exception handling, we stop abnormal termination and display error message. Why this exception came? That much only we can do. By reading that error message, end user is passing correct value in the next term. In the next iteration or next execution time, is sending correct value. By entering correct value, now the problem is solved. Understand? For example, you take login page of any website. Now you entered wrong username, wrong password. Then website is catching the exception, invalid user details. Invalid user details is the exception. Website is catching that exception. From the catch block, it has a display error message to in the red color, stupid fellow. Red color and stupid fellow. I know, red color and scolding only, na? So it is scolding you in red color saying that invalid username or password. Again you enter wrong username and password. Again what happened? Again exception coming, invalid user details. Again catching exception and again displaying error message. Exception catching, solve exception, only stopping abnormal termination. Stopping abnormal termination and displaying error message. That's it. Clear? Renuka, if screen is not visible to you, what can I do, ma'am? Which screen is not visible to you? Hello, Renuka. Punava, are you there? What screen you are seeing? Black screen, huh? Then what can I do? I cannot come to your home to solve your problem, no? Log out and log in. Leave the class and rejoin. Problem will be solved. 9 AM batch, huh? I know. Rejoin, problem will be solved. You did 3 or 4 times, huh? Good. Uninstall and install. Change your system otherwise. Are you attending from mobile? Use laptop. Uninstall the client and reinstall. Hope you understand the basics of exception handling, all points clear? Now. Okay, answer not told. Okay, how can we solve exception? Why exception coming? Exception is coming because of wrong input or wrong logic. As long as you are not changing, or as long as you are not passing correct input, as long as you are not solving the logic problem, you keep on getting exception. How to solve exception? By changing input or logic, not by catching exception. Let me show you that. If I am there in the interview room, I'll ask this question: how to solve exception? By catching. Get out. No further questions I will not ask. Basic you don't understand. How can I handle the course? Ask your friends in a hostel how to solve exception. They'll say, catching, mama. Two questions, you will enjoy. Why exception? How to solve exception? These two questions ask your friends, then you can get smile automatically on your face. How to solve, why exception for handling? Okay, and what do you call how to solve exception? Again, they'll say by catching. These two answers they'll tell, like how I am enjoyed by your answers, you will also can enjoy. Java C, Renuka, there are not joined it. 4, 5. 4. Today Friday or Saturday? I'm not giving any value. Pass at least 2 values. No. You keep on running the same command without giving values. Exception solved, again exception coming up. So by exception handling, we will only stop abnormal termination of the program, but we cannot solve the exception. By reading that error message, I have to pass values. Then we will get result. Exception is solved. Okay. Now, next, what we will understand? Try catch usage rules. Okay, try catch usage rules. Observe, very important point. Who is the superclass of all exceptions? Sorry? Thrower. Okay. Now exceptions are coming because of two reasons. Reason number one, there is a problem in the JVM memory. Okay, there is a problem in JVM memory. JVM memory problem. Second problem, program logic or values problem. Okay, there are two problems are there. Exceptions will come because of two problems. Problem number one, JVM memory level problem, program logic or values problem. Then tell me, I have an animal. We have two types of animals, wild animals and pet animals. I should separate those animals or not? Under animal, again I have to create what? Two groups, wild animal group and pet animal group. If I create all animals as a one group under animal, wild animals will eat pet animals. Yes or no? I have to accept this area only wild animals, this area only pet animals. I have to separate them. Further, I have to create further subclasses. Animal is the superclass, wild animal is a subclass, pet animal is another subclass. Under wild animal group, I have to create lion, tiger. Under pet animal group, I should create a dog, cat, rat. Okay, clear my point? Similarly, we have throwable. Under throwable, we have so many exception classes are there. All exception classes are not created as one group of exceptions. They are divided into subgroups. On what basis they are divided into subgroups? Two categories. On basis of JVM memory problems and logic problem. Okay. JVM memory level problems are represented by one class called what? Error. I am asking question, think and tell me. Will you get exception called error? No. Okay. And next, throwable program logic level problems are represented by another class called exception. Will you get exception? No. Is there any animal called wild animal? No. We have a wild animal, type of animal, lion. Are you catching my point? We don't have animal called pet animal. We have a pet animal type animal called what? Lion or dog. Chichi. Cat or dog. Samajh mein aaya? So, error, throwable, we never get an exception called what? Throwable in the program. We never get an exception called what? Error in the program. We never get an exception called what? Exception in the program. Then what we will get? We will get their subtypes which are representing the problems. Okay. Now tell me. I have memory problem. What memory problem? Stack filled problem. Then we will get, okay, first one, class loading problem. Without loading the class, nothing will be happen. No? Class is not found. JVM is searching for the class. Class is not found. Then it will throw error. No class def found error. Okay, na? Right. Next. Now, JVM of, okay, suppose class is found, then it is searching for main method. Main method is not found, then it will throw error. No such a main method not found. No such a method found, no such a method found error. Okay. Now you are asking the JVM to search for one field. Field means class level variable to access, not found. Then it will throw error. No such a field. No such field, error. Are you catching my point? So these are the errors we will get. If the class is not found, JVM throw that error. If the field you are accessing it is not found, you will get no such field error. You are accessing one method, method is not found, then you will get what? No such method found error. Is it clear? No such method error, I guess, not found. Next. Now, class is found, method is found, variable found, everything found, then execution started. Now, inside the program, I called a method in its own body without any condition. Then become what? Infinite number of times called. Then we will get stack overflow error. Okay. Now, I am creating objects infinite number of times. Then we'll get what? Out of memory error. Like this, there are so many errors we are going to find. All these are comes under what? Error. An exception class that ends with the error is called what? Error type exception. An exception class that is ends with error is an error type exception class. Error type exception classes are meant for representing the runtime errors coming from JVM memory level problems. Next, very important. Exception type exceptions are again two categories. Number one, logic problem, inputs problem, wrong inputs you pass, problem. Wrong logic you develop, problem. Sometimes we are trying to take our Java program, connecting to outside resources. Like I want to connect it to .class file. I want to connect it to file, text file. I want to connect it to database. I want to connect it to network. Are you following? So sometimes my program is connecting to external resources. If external resource is not found, then definitely we'll face the problem or not. So now exception type exceptions are again divided into two types. First problem is operator failure or logic fail. Operator failure or logic fail. Operator failure because of wrong inputs only, na? Division operator, square bracket, dot, cast operator, all these are what? Wrong inputs. Operator failures or logic failure, then representing one error is there. Next one is what? Resources missing. Okay, resources missing is also another problem is there. So to represent these problems, we have two separate subclasses are there again. To represent operator failure and logic failure, we have an exception called runtime exception. Which exception? Runtime exception. Next, now resources missing representation, there is no further superclass is not there. Direct subclasses are there. Now here, what is the hierarchy diagram? You have to visualize something like this. Throwable, error, exception, runtime exception. Now, this is subclass, this is subclass. Okay, from the exception, runtime exception is the subclass. Clear? Under runtime exception, now we have different subclasses. Come on, tell me your favorite subclass. File not found exception, right? Runtime exception problems here. Come on. Arithmetic exception. Next. Array index out of bounds exception. Next, negative array size exception. If we create array with a negative size, then we'll get negative array size exception. Number format exception. Null pointer exception. These all operator failures only, na? Next, class cast exception. Class cast exception is what? Wrong value or wrong operator. And okay. Next. Next. Okay. Input mismatch exception belongs to another package, util package. So currently we are dealing with what? Lang package. These are the Lang package exceptions. Anything else? Illegal argument exception. Wrong argument if you pass, then illegal argument exception. Number format exception already over, man. Sankara. Next. Illegal state exception. Illegal state exception. Also we have something called illegal thread state exception. Illegal state exception, illegal thread state exception. Like this, there are so many exceptions are there. Several exceptions are there. Like this, there are several exceptions are there. Right. Under exception, direct subclasses. Exception has direct subclasses. What are the direct subclass? Now I am trying to load. I ask the JVM, array, load my dot class file. Dot class file is there in the hard disk. External resource not found. Then we'll get error. Class not found. Error exception. Exception. Subclasses of exception ends with exception. Next. I want to work with thread. I'm asking thread. I'm asking OS. Pass my thread for the 500 milliseconds. Until 500 milliseconds completed, don't release my thread. Because of some other thread disturbance, it released the thread. Then now tell me, it is interrupted. It's a sleep state, na? Interrupted exception. Here also resource. I am asking one resource to hold. It is unable to hold that resource. Then resource failure problem came. Then what? Interrupted exception. Next. Okay. Let me also write here. Input mismatch exception. Input mismatch exception available in java.util package. Okay. Right. Here. Now in java.io package, we have file not found exception. File is found, but connection is lost. Connection lost. IO exception. Okay. And now you are working with the database. Database connection is missing. SQL exception. Now I am working with the network by using servlet. Network failure coming, then servlet exception. SE means what? Servlet exception. Like this, there are several exceptions are there. So hope you all understand now. So this minimum knowledge you should have. First basic hierarchy knowledge. Throwable, error, exception, runtime exception. I'm asking question. Will you get an exception called runtime exception in the project? No. Will you get arithmetic exception? Yes. Array index out of bounds exception? Yes. Will you get exception in the program? No. Will you get class not found exception? Yes. Interrupted exception? Yes. File not found exception? Yes. Now, with this knowledge, now I want to move to next point. Ready? Huh? This knowledge is sufficient as of now. More details we are going to discuss about the story once we start throws. After try catch completed, we are going to work on it. Types of exception. There is a concept called what? Types of exception. Checked exception, unchecked exception. There is a horrible story there that we'll see later. At this minute, this much knowledge is sufficient. So totally, how many kinds of exceptions we have? 3. Number 1, error kind of exception representing JVM level problem. Number 2, runtime exception representing operator and logic failure. Next, number 3, exception type exception. What? Resources missing. Resources missing problem. Okay, 3 problems in the project will have. All the 3 problems are addressing by these exception classes. Nice. What the point we discussed? Throwable class hierarchy. Okay, throwable class hierarchy, we got clarity. Now, next point is very important. Try with multiple catches and rules. Try with multiple catches and rules. Okay, try with single catch and multiple catches and their rules. Okay, very important. Please focus. Yeah, I'm taking same program. Yeah, the same program I'm taking. Let's see how many people can answer. Can I catch all the 3 exceptions by using single catch block with the parameter catch of exception? From my try block, I am going to get several exceptions. We have 2 ways of catching all those exceptions. Number 1, by using individual try catch. Individual catch. Array index, 1 catch. Number format, 1 catch. Arithmetic, 1 catch. That is the one way. Second way, I can catch all exceptions by using exception. Possible or not possible? Why? Exception is super class of all exceptions. If you choose a method parameter as a super class, it can receive and store all the subclasses. Na? Exception is a super class of all exceptions. So we can choose 1 catch of exception to catch all exceptions. No problem. Then my question is, what is the difference in catching all exception by using single catch block with the parameter exception and individual catch blocks with each catch exception? Why you want to know? Why you want to know which exception coming from the try block? Who understand? Why? You know already, na? X of 0 will throw array index out of bounds. Parsing will throw number format. Division operator throw arithmetic exception. Why user want to see your logic? Hey, why user wanted to know what exception coming in your program, man? Will user read your logic? Did you ever read Gmail logic, Amazon logic, Flipkart logic? And then you started correctly but deviated. Come on, think again. Why I want to know which exception coming from the try block here? To handle. Can't I handle by using catch of exception? How you correct the logic mistake? Sorry? Tell me. Why? Why should I write separate catch blocks when I can catch all exceptions using single catch block? You are writing try catch not only for your sake, for the end user sake. You want to display error message to the end user. If you write SOPL and E, by seeing these error messages, how end user can decide what mistake he did, how to solve that error, error index, out of bounds, number format to arithmetic, how can he understand? Are you following my point? What message I should display here? System.out.println and double quotes. Don't pass 0 as second number. Pass only integers. Pass at least 2 integers. These 3 error messages are specific to the exception. Na? If you catch all exceptions by using single catch block, how can I handle each exception separately? Do you understand my point? So point number 1, a catch block can have one catch block, a try block can associated with one catch or multiple catches. If you want to catch each exception separately, then we have to use multiple catches. If you want to handle all exceptions by using single catch, you can write what catch of with exception E. Clear my point? When to choose catch of exception E, when to use catch of when I should use multiple catch block. If you wanted to handle each exception separately, either for displaying error message to the user based on the exception rights, or you want to execute some alternative logic based on the exception rights, then we should go forward. Multiple catch blocks. I just want to stop abnormal termination. Are you catching my point? What exception rising in the program doesn't matter. I just want to stop abnormal termination. Or I'm not displaying the error messages to the end user. I'm displaying error messages to programmer. To the programmer, why I need individual messages? Programmer can solve the problem by reading the exception class name and error message. Na? So Java message displayed sufficient. I no need to convert into English message to the end user. Na? So if you wanted to communicate with the end user to display proper error message based on the exception rise, or you want to execute alternative logic based on the exception rise, then I should choose what? Multiple catch blocks with each exception as an individual parameter. I just want to stop abnormal termination, or I want to display exception information to the programmer, then I have to choose what? Single catch block with the exception as a parameter. Understand? Really? Okay. Then now I have a question. You know cricket? Really? Did you play cricket? Really? Really, you know cricket? If you know cricket, exception handling completed. Exception handling, cricket, both are tightly coupled. Okay. Think. Array, who is the fielding team? India. Who is the batsman? Last batch, student told Sachin Tendulkar. Array, when Indian team is batting, how Sachin, feeling how Sachin can be batsman? IPL, sir. Okay. If it is a IPL, how Dhoni you be playing in the same team? Right. So people are showing over smart. Right. That's batsman is what? You can choose any country, ABD. Okay, na? He is good at playing, pull shots and hook shots, no? Short balls. Yeah, don't worry about he retired and all, okay? Just fun, okay? All Adam Gilchrist story. Right hand batsman, how can play left hand right? Okay, listen. Here, ball is exception. Ball or ball. Object is circle, no. Ball is exception. That pitch is what? Your method. Pitch is your method. That circle is what? Your program. Nothing but ground is your program. Tell me, the ground outside, ground helper boys will be there, no? They are JVM. Understand? Okay. Where is Dhawan? Dhawan got retired that time, okay? Don't worry. Dhawan got injured, okay? So, listen. When Shami bowled a bouncer ball, ABD played just a normal shot, okay? It's not a fully sixth shot, okay? Just he touched that ball, then it is rolling on the ground and going, okay? Not coming for catching a, going, rolling on the ground and catching a, right? Now tell me, when it is rolling on the ground, Ashwin there somewhere here corner, then he found the ball direction and running towards the ball, pick that ball, put in his pocket and going on. No, right? What he will do? He will throw the ball to Dhoni. Then Dhoni is taking necessary actions with that ball here. If there is a chance to do run out here, he will do run out here. If there is no chance to do run out, then next ball should ball. Then the throwing the ball to the bowler. Then bowler is ready for next ball to ball. Understand? Try catch is there. Now tell me, exception raised. Where inside your method, this is nothing but try. Okay, inside try, what operations are happening? Exception raised. Then JVM creates exception, appropriate exception class object. Now Ashwin is nothing but try. Ashwin is doing try operations. Try found, array exception raised. Then that runtime error matching exception finding is moving towards the ball direction. Nothing but is finding the proper exception class. Now created object means he picked that object into his hand and then throwing to whom? Catch. Who is the catch here? Dhoni. Look at that. Dhoni gloves are nothing but E variable. Catch parenthesis, yeah. Parenthesis, two hands. Okay. Now the gloves are nothing but parenthesis and E variable. The ball is thrown and E variable receiving the exception object into his hand. Once the catch block catching exception, inside catch block, open bracket, closed bracket, you have written logic now. That logic is taking necessary actions against that exception, either doing run out here, displaying error message, or taking alternative logic to execute, that is throwing the ball to whom now? Shami. Do you understand try catch? Try is doing two operations, catch is doing two operations. That is totally exception handling by catching. Try is doing two operations. What? Finding the exception matching class, create its object, then throw. Second operation is what? Throw. Then catch is doing two operations. What is that? Catch the exception and take necessary actions against that exception. Clear? Up to now, okay na? Try and catch flow completed. Now, the next flow, try to answer. Olden days, when my Jamana cricket were playing, okay? Jagwal Srinath, Venkatesh Prasad, Mohammad Azaruddin, Sachin Tendulkar, Ganguly, Dravid. That time cricket, if you take, we are wonderful cricketers that time, okay? When a ball is thrown to the keeper, only keeper has to collect the ball. Backup people will not come. Right? And next, when when the batsman hit the ball, and then the ball direction going to Ashwin, it is Ashwin responsibility to take that ball. Remaining all fielders are looking, chalo, catch. It's not only Indian team, all teams, all country teams, fielding is, at that time, that is the way the fielding was. Okay, because almost all people are, aged people, they cannot run this side to that side, they cannot jump and all, they cannot do that. That's fact, ma'am. Our fitness level is very bad. Okay. Then slowly into the cricket, youngsters are coming, and then now the coaches are started giving instructions to that. If the ball is going to Ashwin's side, not only Ashwin, Rohit also should go there as a backup. If he missed, then he has to collect. Or if he is stopping the ball at boundary line, he will throw it back and Ashwin going to that side. Then between that, he is coming back and collect the ball, throw here 2-3 runs will complete. To stop that runs, now he is going the backup. And when he stopped the ball, Rohit is picking the ball and throwing immediately 2-3 runs will be saved. That is how Dhoni has bring lot of changes to the cricket. That's why everybody hating the Dhoni. What he did, he dropped out all the old people and then taking the youngsters. Like my fan, Virendra Sehwag, you removed, that person you removed, this person removed. A lot of politics and a lot of problems came. Okay, it's okay. We are not going to the politics that side. Okay. So Gary Kristen is our team coach. Once the Gary Kristen and Dhoni form, lot of changes to happen to our Indian cricket team. There is a first change came in the feeling is what? Backup. Ashwin throw the ball from here, boundary line. Who has to collect the ball? Dhoni. Dhoni, if unable to collect the ball as a backup, who is there? UV. If UV also unable to collect the ball, who will there? Third man. Zahir Khan. Third man, yeah. Zahir Khan or Bumrah will be there, na? Zahir Khan hold, okay, Bumrah. Okay, Shami partner what? Bumrah. Bumrah will be there at third line, na? If a Bumrah also unable to stop, then who will take? Dhoni, right? This ground helper boy will take it. Are Bumrah third man behind him nobody will be there. Wow. Okay, then no fielder is there. Then it's crossing the boundary line. That means the exception coming. If a JVM catch that exception, the players are running in the middle. Stop in the middle abnormally, no. They required to go to the crease properly? Not required. They can stop because boundary is declared. So that means what? If the ball is not properly handled by if the ball is not catched by one of the catch blocks we placed here, then finally what happened? That exception is caught by JVM. That means exception going out of our program, going to the JVM. If a JVM catch exception, program terminated abnormally. If you want to terminate your program normally, if you want your players are come to the creases properly, then you have to catch that exception by any one of the catch blocks. Understand? Yes. New Zealand match is going today or tomorrow. Tomorrow, na? Will you use this knowledge there? While watch, hey, exception going, right? Okay. Now exception rise, and now the batsman is raising exception. One fielder is running, try is running, right? Then he throw the ball. Catch is catching the. Who is the catcher? Ishan Krishna or KL Rahul? Ishan Krishna is catching the ball. Yeah, he's taking necessary actions in the catch block logic. He's executing. Now behind that Ishan Kishan, now that third, I mean, who is there? Suryakumar Yadav. Okay, whoever coming there, third man is. Hey, backup catch blocks are there. Okay, and he hit the ball very strong. Boundary line went. Abnormal termination. Okay. So this entire terminology you can apply here. Up to now, all people understand? Right. Now there is an important point. Try to answer now. When Ashwin throw the ball, who is the actual person to catch the ball? Dhoni. There is a chance that Dhoni may miss the ball. 100% guarantee I want to stop the ball. Should not go boundary line crossing. For that, we are using what? Backup. The backup person is coming and standing there. If he miss, he will definitely stop. Correct my point? Is there any backup catch block in our program? Are you catching my point? Is there any backup catch block in our program? What is my target? My target is I wanted to catch individual catch blocks. Okay, individual exception, because I want to display exception based error message I wanted to display. Sometimes in the program, because of inheritance, because of polymorphism. Remember polymorphism rules? Overriding method, overriding rules. When you are overriding method, the super class specified exception only you must throw. Sometimes we have a facility from the subclass we can throw some other exceptions also. Super class is informed to me that you have to super class informed to the user class programmer, Babu, either me or my subclass will throw class not found exception. Okay, na? Then what catch block I will write in my user class main method? Class not found exception catch block. From the subclass, there is a chance I may get number format exception. There is a chance I may get arithmetic exception. There is a chance I will get class cast exception. Some unknown exceptions also coming from the subclass logic to my user class. Which exception I got information? Class not found. Which exception I got? Class not found. Can class not found exception catch block? Can catch arithmetic exception? No, because they are siblings. Then tell me, user class program terminated abnormally. If you want catch unknown exceptions, there should be a backup catch block. Who is the backup? Now tell me, catch of what I should write here? Exception E. And here I am writing some message. System.out.println. Just I am writing E. So when I should choose catch of exception? If you want to just stop abnormal termination of the program, and you want to display exception information to the programmer, and I want to use it as a backup catch block of all the exceptions, then I should choose what? Catch of exception. Online students, can you hear me? So hope you all understand working with the catch of exception. Yes. Then you may ask me question, sir, why catch of exception? Why not error? Tell me, is error super class of programming exceptions? Error is the super class of JVM level problem exceptions, right? So error is suitable or not suitable? No. Then why cannot take throwable? Array, I can write throwable because it is the super class of both JVM level problems and program level problems. If you catch JVM level problems, can you do anything? Already memory out of problem we got. By catching exception, can you continue the program? No. You have to terminate it. Catching errors is useless. You can catch errors, but it is useless. You have to shut down the program and you have to solve the memory level problems, or you have to change the code and again you have to rerun the program. What exceptions only you can catch and solve? Only program level problems only you can catch and solve. For that purpose, generally we will write one catch of exception, not catch of throwable. So hope you all understand now. So catch with multiple, try with multiple catches and single catch. Okay. Now tell me, I have a question. What is the flow of execution with catch with individual catches and catch with exception? Here, array index out of bounds exception is raised. Assume array index out of bounds exception is raised. Try block with the help of JVM background created what exception object. That exception object is given to whom now? First catch. Okay, na? Next, assume that number format exception is raised. Then is that number format exception object is directly given to the second catch? No. Is it a method to call? It is a keyword. It is not a method to call. What JVM will do background? JVM creates the exception object first and then takes that exception object to each catch block. Okay, and it is asking catch block, is this exception matched to your parameter? Okay, na? It is creating exception object there, taking that exception object to the first catch block and asking, array, catch block, is this exception object matched to your parameter? No. Oh, thank you. Then going to the next catch block. Then it is asking next catch block, hey, is this exception matched to your parameter? Yes. Then what are you doing? Take it and execute your logic. Following up? When an exception is raised in the try block, the exception will not directly pass it to the associated catch block. It is inspecting each catch block for the match, top to bottom in the order you place. Tell me, arithmetic exception is raised at line number 6. Then the arithmetic exception is it directly going to third catch? No. Then it is first giving to whom? Array index, not match. Then next to number format, not match. Then next to arithmetic exception match. Then it is consuming. Samajh mein aaya? Other than these three exceptions are coming, then it will go to exception. Now again I'm asking question, is exception directly going to matching catch block? No, it is going by inspection. Now my question is, I am placing catch of exception E here. Then what happened? Tell me. Array index out of bounds exception is raised. Raised, array index out of bounds exception is coming from the try. Okay, na? Is that exception catched by catch of array index out of bounds exception? No, by exception. Exception is superclass of all exceptions. Now JVM is going exception. Is this exception matched? Yeah. Take it. Okay. Do you have at least one chance to execute remaining 3 catch blocks? Then why you are writing? Useful or useless? They never executed. They are unreachable. Then why you are writing? Compiler will throw error. Exception has already been caught. Exception, array index out of bounds exception has already been caught. Exception, number format exception has already been caught. Exception, arithmetic exception has already been caught. Why you are writing? Rima? Okay, boss. Are you catching my understand? Is it a method calls inspection? That is a method call. You are calling method. Then compiler software checking the parameter matching. Okay, na? It is not method call. These are what? Catches. So it is inspecting one by one, top to bottom. It's not method call, Baba. It is not method call. That is concept different. This is different. You will eat vegetarian leaves directly. You are eating, but chicken biryani bones. Why you are not eating directly? That is also eating. This is also eating, na? Tell me. By steps you are coming by using your legs. Lift is there. Why you are not using your legs? That is also lifting only, na? Yeah. That is also coming up. They are also coming up. Understood? So these are not method calls. Compiler cannot link. Linking is done by whom now? JVM or compiler? Which argument should match to which parameter is done by whom? Compiler or JVM? Compiler. Here, who is doing that linking? Compiler or JVM? JVM. How JVM can do the linking? Understand? So here, the exceptions are not coming at compilation time. Compiler cannot do any linking. The exceptions are coming at what time? Runtime. Runtime will not do any linking. JVM going for top to bottom inspection. JVM taking that exception, checking first catch. Are catch you, it's matched. Yes, so take. Understand now? Compiler is linking. JVM is going and executing. So here JVM directly taking and going. Two reasons you cannot apply method calls here. Number one, these are the methods. These are not the methods to call. Number two, compiler did that linking. JVM didn't do any linking that time. JVM given value searching and going and executing. Okay. It's not method call. These are what? Exceptions. Exceptions are searching from top to bottom algorithm. That is what accept and remember. Don't think too much. Okay. So hope you understand what is the rule in what using try catch block. Try with multiple catches. You cannot place multiple catch blocks in what order you like. You cannot place multiple catches in what order you like. If super class, subclasses, if you are placing siblings, you can place any order, no problem. Try catch off. For example, I am taking what here? Arithmetic exception, and I am taking what? Number format exception. Arithmetic exception and number format exception are siblings. You can place in any order. Now, I am taking another try catch. I am taking here exception and a number format exception. Their siblings are super subclasses. You cannot place super parameter catch block first and then subclass. Compiler will throw error. This exception already caught. Why you are writing again? And another rule is you cannot place duplicate catch blocks. You cannot place catch block with the same parameter two times because the number format exception raised here already caught by this catch block. Then we are writing second catch block. Same compile time you will get exception has already been caught. Hope you will understand how to work with try with multiple catches and when to use catch off exception, where to use catch off exception. If you want to use catch off exception with multiple catches, it should be only backup catch block. It should be last in the list. If you use in the middle or first, you will get compile time error. And you cannot write duplicate catch blocks, compiler throw error. When to use multiple catches and when to use a single catch. If you want just to stop abnormal termination without worrying about what exception rising in the program, then use catch off exception E. If you want to execute individual logic, different logic for each exception, then I have to place one multiple catches. Understood? Will you write one program? Right. Develop a program to read two integers from the keyboard. Develop a program to read two integers from command line. Come on, divide those numbers. Divide first number by second number. Divide first number by second number. Any confusion up here? Immediately you should get mind, array three exceptions will come. I should try with three catch blocks. Program setup coming to your brain or not? Please start. Now I am giving you 4 cases. You have to write logic for these 4 cases. Program is fixed. That is a fundamental program. Okay. If A, I, O, B, E is raised. If A, I, O, B, E is raised. Add 10 and 20 display result. Add 10 and 20 display result. If N of E is raised, if N of E is raised, add 30, 40 and display result. Add 30, 40